Oh, hi.
Good evening.
Welcome to Basement Dad's Pinball Podcast, where we talk everything entertainment. That's books, board games, movies, music, and of course, pinball. My name's Extra Paul, and I've got George here too. Look at us. We're going to be your hosts for this episode. So hold on to your banisters, folks, because we got a heck of a show for you. Now, it should be stated, I think this doesn't need to be, but we're not your real dads. Because we didn't leave you.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Sad but true.
Sad but true. I like it.
Get yourself some therapy.
Yeah.
Hey, George, we're back.
We're back.
How long has it been?
3 or 4 months?
Okay. There's been some things that have happened within 3 or 4 months where we're like doing a relay race of I can't do it tonight because
Yeah, it was all kinds of back and forth. I got COVID again, which kind of broke up the last time. There was travel. I was gone for a little over a month. Went to Florida, then I came back and got shipped immediately out to DC for work, and then life. I feel like finds a way and interrupts.
I totaled a car.
Oh, that's right.
And my State Farm insurance adjuster wasn't available for like 5 weeks because they were affected by the hurricane so much that they had to go on vacation afterwards.
Oh,
have a nice little vacation.
Okay.
So yeah, I didn't figure that out until I've been biking to work all summer. It's been great.
That's awesome.
I couldn't have picked a better time to total a car.
I just realized, are you wearing a sweater like a dad shirt or a dad sweater right now?
Yeah, we're back. I mean, you know I don't wear glasses, George.
Yeah. No, actually, I just assumed since you were wearing glasses that you have contacts or something.
No, I don't wear glasses. I don't wear cardigans in August either.
It's 79 degrees in this garage right now.
And I don't have children.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, where is the pipe?
The pipe, yeah, right? I need a pipe.
Now,
next time.
On that note, because I have to go back through and edit this for the actual podcast that goes out, which, by the way, if you're watching, but you aren't aware, this is Basement Dad's Pinball Podcast. Borg Dog, Ghost Flipper, Michael Lalonde, Art Omelet, Jeff, by the way, welcome. Yeah, he does have the 70s dad mustache. We're going to try and go through what we have listed for, we're in a garage. We're not even in a basement at this point. We're going to try and go through a topic, and then we'll come back and get all of the chat done at once, and then we'll jump back into a topic, and then we'll come back and do chat to make it easier for me to go back through and edit this at a later time.
Okay. So what do we tentatively have on the list? Because knowing you and me in the past, I mean, it has been 3 or 4 months since we've podcast last, but you and I famously encourage each other to get further and further off of the rails, just naturally, right?
Yeah, organic, natural, tangential conversation.
Yeah, there's no, this is going to be, maybe for you guys, it's going to feel like wrangling cats, quite honestly. But, so what do we have listed tentatively that we're going to talk about tonight?
Okay. So catching up on 3 to 4 months worth of pinball, we're going to talk about Dutch Pinball's Alice in Wonderland. We're going to talk about updates to Jaws and maybe just thoughts on Jaws overall. I think we both played a decent amount of it at this point. American Pinball's next title, which is supposedly Cuphead. We've got the next several titles potentially from Stern. We've got a segment where we're going to talk about maybe local tournament strategy and how you structure tournaments or different ways to kind of get what you want out of it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, like a TD's point of view. You're trying to build your pinball scene wherever you're at, and what tournaments take the biggest factor in all of that is kind of time. But and we're also going to talk about Dory Hill.
Yep.
As well.
Oh, and the fun one you just came up with, because I was just randomly going to bring up artists and start talking about music because we never talk about anything.
Yeah, we
pinball.
We're a few episodes in now, and we have yet to talk about anything that I mentioned in the intro other than pinball.
We did have an episode on Harry Potter, but it was Harry Potter as it relates to pinball. Does
That
that
counts.
count?
Sure,
That counts?
that
Okay.
counts. But we haven't talked about music yet.
No. So we're going to talk about the top 3 songs we listened to while playing pinball.
Right now. Yeah.
Excellent point, by the way, the right now, because I'm imagining your list changes.
Sure. I think for both of us, last I heard for both of us, Create Destroy by Art versus Science is kind of always at the top of the list. Maybe I don't heard it too many times lately and want to switch to something else, but yeah, it's an old standby for sure.
Okay. So let's kick this off. I have a list. Sorry.
There's also my super secret project
Oh my
as
God,
well.
I forgot about the super secret project. Okay.
I have it queued up so I had a conversation with ChatGPT. You want to know about my super secret project,
Let's
George?
hear it, yeah.
Okay.
Now, wait, I do want to preface this with I have no idea what you're talking about. So
Okay.
I'm hearing this live for the first time.
All right. So my super secret project, the next thing I'm going to do, and I was going to be anonymous about this, but I kind of want to collaborate with quite a few people. I'm going to make a pinball zine.
So kind of like Nudge or...
No, that's a magazine. I'm going to make a pinball zine, like zine culture from the 70s and 80s, like a tiny little booklet. You get some A4 paper, fold it in eighths, and like fold it up into an accordion booklet.
You're describing something like I should be aware of this, but I'm still not following right now. Like,
Okay.
How small is this booklet?
So basically, it's going to be roughly 3 by 4 inches, and it'll be 8 pages, including the cover and the back.
But you open, so it's more of a
No, it's a booklet.
It's a book. Okay.
You flip through it. There's a way to fold it.
Why that particular format?
Because it's like Renegade. I don't know. If you look up zine culture, it's basically saying that it's a small circulation of like the person who published it, it's so small that nobody's really gonna like attack it
Okay.
type of thing. And you're not asking for permission from anybody to write it. You're giving yourself permission to write it.
Got it. So with the nature of Renegade, I guess in this case, you mean
Yeah.
you don't have to go through the hassle of getting licensing or...
No, it's usually also from one person's kind of point of view. So it could be about any topic. There's one out there about Prince, but it's a hilarious little zine from one fan's perspective of Prince
Okay.
and what they like about him. It's like I don't know, almost like a little diary or something. It could be anything in it though. The medium is print.
So anything you could print.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Is this going to be a high quality 3 by 4 inch?
Hell no.
Okay.
We're going full on Xerox marks on this thing.
Okay.
Black and white. Cheap as shit.
Dot matrix printer?
Yeah. So there is like zine culture out there though from the 70s. It blew up in the 70s because that's when Xerox machines were highly available. Mm-hmm. And so all of these punk scenes out there like Sniff and Glue and Flipside and a bunch of other ones made all these little fan zines basically to promote the punk scene at the time.
Okay.
And so I'm thinking of like just making a pinball zine. It's usually to reflect like a marginalized group of people as well. So
Okay.
that's us, right? With the
Sure.
pinball.
Yeah. Marginalized.
Okay. So that being said, I decided to sit down with ChatGPT.
Okay.
And I've done this before. I kind of talk to ChatGPT in my own little way. So I start off here. ChatGPT, do you know the word fuck? Come on, you have to. It's like the oldest fucking word. ChatGPT says, yes, I know the word. It's a versatile, often vulgar term used in various contexts, usually to express strong emotions or as an intensifier. It can be used in many different ways, blah, blah, blah. Will you ever say fuck, or is that against the rules? I can use the word if it's relevant to the conversation, like when discussing language or quoting something, however, blah, blah, blah. I am directly requesting that you use the word fuck. Understood. Since you've directly requested it, I'll use it in the context of our discussion. The word fuck is now indeed one of the most versatile and widely recognized words, blah, blah, blah. All right, I'm writing a pinball zine. Are you familiar with zine culture? Yes, I'm familiar with zine culture. Zines are self-published, often small circulation booklets or magazines that focus on a specific topic, typically created by enthusiasts for other enthusiasts.
Okay.
They're a key part of DIY culture and have roots in punk and underground movements, but have expanded to cover a wide range of subjects from art and politics to niche hobbies like pinball. If you're working on a pinball zine, you might include things like interviews with other pinball enthusiasts, reviews, blah, 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 some more suggestions. I say, let's just focus on flipper skills for now. And I want it to have that underground zine culture voice. All right, so this is what ChatGPT gave me.
Could you do ChatGPT in a slightly different voice?
Yeah, no, I will for this.
Okay, good. Yeah.
For this part, because it's giving me that underground zine culture voice. So, Mastering the Art of Pinball Flipper Control, a no-bullshit guide. Welcome to the hardcore world of pinball, where flipper finesse separates the wizards from the wannabes. Think you've got what it takes? Let's cut through the noise and get down to dirty details of flipper skills, because in this game, it's all about control, precision, and the audacity to dominate that silver ball.
Wow.
Number 1, cradle that fucking ball. If you're not cradling, you're playing like a chimp. Cradling is the backbone of control. Trap the ball on a flipper and take a damn moment. Fucking breathe. Scope out your next move, and in this chaotic world, the flipper is your only real weapon. Cradle the ball, size up the playfield, and then unleash hell when you're ready. Number 2, dead flip, your secret weapon. The dead flip is where you let the ball bounce off a flipper over the other side. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But trust us, it's a lifesaver when the ball is screaming down the middle. Keep those flippers up and let physics do the work. Channel that inner zen and let the pinball find its way home. Number 3, post pass like a pro. When that ball is trapped on the wrong side and you need it on the other, the post pass is your go-to move. It's a slick flick of the flipper, nudging the ball off the slingshot over the other opposite flipper. Get this move down and you'll start feeling like the pinball wizard you were always born to be. Number 4, don't fear the nudge. Nudging isn't just allowed, it's encouraged. A well-timed shove can save your ass when the ball's about to drain. But here's the thing, don't be reckless. Know your machine's tilt sensitivity and just push it enough to steer the ball without tripping it. It's a delicate balance, and it's what separates the pros from the punks. That's what ChatGPT said.
Wow. Also, you could have been in 1994 doing commercials for kids' toys. Like I did some sort of transforming
Bop
bot.
it. Yeah. Twist it. Pull it.
Pass it.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember playing that, by the way, in my mid to late 20s with alcohol. The Bop It. It was fantastic.
Nice. So yeah, I'm currently collaborating with just a few other people. We're trying to find exactly what we all want to do for it, but I might just do a flipper skills one and see how it looks.
Okay. I like that. Flipper skills would be great. There's so many little amazing, I guess, animations, or at least just letting people know what's out there to actually do with flipper skills.
Yeah.
Dead Flip has an amazing set of animated GIFs that he did in a single webpage that walks through like 30 of them.
Oh yeah, I fully recognize that print form is not the ideal form to show a flipper skill, but yeah, just as a placeholder for everything else. I don't know. I'm kind of ultimately I'd like to get it to like tap into the emotional side of the game.
Okay.
But over just technical aspects of it, like why do I care though?
Sure.
You know.
Now, how are you going to guerrilla warfare style market this? Like, are you planning on taking it to Expo or something along those lines?
We off the air?
Huh?
All right.
Totally. Yeah, we're off the air.
I don't know. We live in a college town. I'll figure it out.
Okay. But are you thinking, will you bring it to TPF? Are you going to bring it to Expo? You just going to like walk up, high five people?
No, no.
It becomes a thing?
So, I mean, ultimately it's just going to be a small circulation in Fort Collins.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And if it has any like direct information, it'll just be on the back cover of tournaments that are in the area.
Okay.
Tournaments and leagues that are in the area for like Colorado.
I totally see where I lost you there. I didn't mean put marketing into the zine. I meant how would you market or get it out there that the zine was a thing? Were you planning on bringing?
I
it
haven't
anywhere
mentioned the
outside?
name, but I do have an Instagram handle of the name claimed already. So
Okay.
whenever there's a new one out, it'll be listed on that Instagram page.
Okay.
But ultimately, I don't know. It's going to be very anti-technology for the most part.
Makes sense. All right. That section's done. Going back up, let's catch up on some chat here. We're not even in a basement. Thank you, Borg Talk. Ghost Flipper can't do basements. Maybe we're in a sub-basement. Ghost Flipper pointing out from the past 3 or 4 months, we could be looking forward to Haggis. Maybe not. Are you familiar with what happened to Haggis?
Yeah, I heard enough.
Okay, yeah. I purposefully didn't put Haggis on the catch-up list.
It's old news.
Because there's been a lot of coverage over the whole Haggis ordeal.
Asked and answered.
Yes. Michael Lalonde, a test to determine whether or not you have the antibodies to protect you from certain diseases, you want it to come back positive. Okay. Also, dot matrix printers go way back. Remember the tractor feed paper? I do. And how often it always got misaligned.
Yep.
Razor, welcome. Shatzing potentially might be another good one, as
Sure.
Michael Lalonde is pointing out, to put in that.
Yeah, that all fits in flipper skills. I only have like I'm with the way I would fold it, which you can look up like how to fold a zine. You can ask the Google gods about that. But I would be limited to 8 pages, including the front and back cover, or 16. Like there's a way to. It's really the ones I'm looking at are either 8 pages or 14 pages actually. So yeah, that's the other question is, do I put make it a full spread where one side's just the diagram of the skill,
Right.
and then there's some cheeky don't be a fucking monkey, like you don't always have to flip the ball, just to dead bounce
Sure.
shit on there.
Yeah. Also, I feel like going for the punk culture, like you could tell based in how ChatGPT phrased it and what words it used. It was trying to create that kind of persona.
Oh yeah, because I directly asked it.
You
too.
asked
It was
it,
like
okay,
I
good.
need you to use the word fuck first off.
Okay,
and
got
then,
it.
And
Yep.
then I want that underground zine culture voice.
Okay. I like it.
So yeah, this is how I talk to ChatGPT.
So what's up next? Where are we going? You want to talk about? Have you ever played Cuphead?
I have played Cuphead.
What do you think? American Pinball, supposedly their next title. It's Cuphead.
I don't know if I care.
No?
Yeah, I don't know if I care. I watched a little bit of the cartoon. They also released a cartoon on
They
Netflix,
did?
right?
Yep.
Game's hard as shit.
Yes, it is.
It's very cool that it was all hand animated. Are they doing that for the pinball machine too?
I don't know.
But I don't know. It better be a winner for American, right? Because we've kind of heard similar clatterings about American as we have to Haggis.
Right. They were looking for new owners or new investors. I think something popped up with a sale of the company. Barry O's. I don't know that they were expecting that to be a big seller for them, but I don't think it has been a great seller.
Yeah, I think they've.
Wild speculation, though.
I've heard in the zeitgeist, maybe they commented on it where it wasn't like, oh, that might have been a great move for us.
I really hope it was like
Because-
we had people and we had parts and we had a gap in between other things. Like if I was really hoping that Barry O's, for American Pinball's sake, was like, we had nothing better to do, so we put out 500 units of this.
Is that how many it was?
I don't know.
Okay.
Just some small number. Now,
Yeah,
granted, I don't think they've done a large number of anything. Maybe Hot Wheels?
Maybe. I don't know. We never really saw Hot Wheels. Like that totally went under Pinball Jones's radar, basically. But also on here is I don't know. I feel like we should talk about Dory Hill.
Let's do it. Done. Switch.
Okay. So along with Dory Hill, related to that, is pin golf.
Yes.
Okay. With that being said, anybody need an explanation of what pin golf is in general? Can you handle that, George?
Yes.
I'm gonna grab a beer.
So pin golf is a situation in pinball where you actually want the lowest score. There's an objective, let's say, that needs to be met for each particular game, and each game has its own unique objective. And the goal is to get to that objective in the least amount of balls possible. You can snag an ace, you get a 1 if you can do it in 1 ball. Now, I think typically in most pin golf tournaments, they set the balls for the game to 5 ball. And the goal of whoever sets up the tournament is to choose an objective that would typically take, you think, 3 balls to get there. So the standard for pin golf is that everything is a par 3. And that's kind of what you're shooting for, meaning if you actually achieve it on ball 1, that's a pretty significant achievement. At least that's the goal.
Yeah. And we just finished our third of all time pin golf summer league at Pinball Jones. Now, you, George, have some money waiting for you in the office because you weren't able to make it during the finals tournament night, but you did place third overall for the pin golf qualifier. So how I had this set up was it was 6 weeks of pin golf. Tee times were available from 7 to 9. So you could show up as late as 9 o'clock and play three games of 5-ball pinball on our pin golf course.
Yes.
So I basically set it up to where you could do 3 games a night for 6 weeks in a row, but everybody's got shit going on during the summer. And I kind of just let you figure it out. But I don't care. If you want to play 9 games in a night, whatever.
I thought that was great. I came to because I have my kid every other week. I typically can't go every single Wednesday night. So the flexibility of this league was fantastic.
Yeah.
It really allowed me to get it all done in 3 weeks because I did 2 banks. So I basically played 6 games 3 times.
Our course this year, I usually take the, out of 3 games, 2 of them are score-based goal. Mm-hmm. And then we have 1 objective-based goal. And the score-based goals, I just do straight averages of any league scores that I have.
Okay.
But this year it seemed especially friggin' brutal, man. I don't know. I could probably pull up our stats, but who cares? It's over. Jackson won it again.
Now, what's
He's got
really cool?
3 of them now.
This league has a jacket, kind of like in Happy Gilmore or the Masters or something like that. Like it's funny that I go to Happy Gilmore. That's how little I know about golf.
Gold jacket, green jacket, who gives a fuck?
Yeah. So there is a jacket, and the same person has won it every year. Is that right?
Yeah. And his name is Jackson. So he's now Jacket Jackson, the 3-time reigning champion of pin golf.
Okay.
It's so fun.
Now, we were talking about Dory Hill, but somehow we got into pin golf and we got into league.
Yeah.
So what's Dory Hill?
Well, Dory Hill is pinball camping, and it's the same pin golf format. Only instead of over 6 weeks, this is like a 2-day tournament. So Saturday,
qualifiers,
a week from today.
Yeah. So sorry, no. Next weekend is Labor Day, and so it's 2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
All right. I was getting nervous. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pin golf. So all Saturday, you kind of pick your own group, and there's how many games do we have? I have it here.
Oh, 60, I think, or 62.
I do have it.
I'm bringing stars. I'm very excited. Actually, I need to spend a little bit of time on stars to make sure that it doesn't break down while we're out there.
All right, so 140 players. A bunch of people are going up into the mountains and camping.
Yep.
In cabins and in tents and in RVs. And there will be, 58 games that are tentatively on the list at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good selection of games, too.
Let's see here. Total prize pool is over $5,000. $5,600.
Nice.
So
now, I didn't go last year, but how did you do last year?
Not great.
No.
Not great. I did much better the year before that, which was my first year. I got 8th overall.
That's
that
awesome.
year
Yeah.
in A division.
Cool. So what'd you do last year?
No clue.
Okay.
It was not memorable.
Got it. Had a bad day of qualifiers, bad follow-up?
Maybe, I don't know. It was my first year. I microdosed some mushrooms, and I was offered them like during qualifiers. They're like, no, I'm good. I don't want to I'm kind of on a streak here. I want to keep doing well. And then on day 2 during the finals, I was like, okay, fuck it, let's go. And yeah, so I microdosed some mushrooms, and they kicked in while I was playing Shrek. So it was my day.
Okay. Microdosing mushrooms. Can honestly say I've never even thought of attempting that in some sort of a pinball related tournament forum.
Okay, well, I mean, pinball camping, that's
Sure.
not usually something people think of either.
Right.
So, but kind of go hand in hand.
Now, one of the weird things a lot of people probably go to immediately on pinball and camping is, what about bad weather? So what happens, Paul, when there's bad weather?
This still happens.
So where are the pinball machines if we're camping and there's bad weather?
They're mostly in the there's a pavilion, like a center building amount around the campgrounds, and then there's also kind of decks or patios on each of the cabins. So
Now
we can wrap tarp around all of that and protect it quite a bit.
And I don't want to make it. I would hate for people to walk away with this thinking in the pavilion somehow the games were protected. They're not. There's no walls in the pavilion.
No. Yeah. The suggestion is there's a great website on Colorado Pinball that Snow set up that over years of trials and tribulations they've kind of figured it out. And if you read the whole page about Dory each here, it gives great suggestions like covering up your machine with a blanket and leaving the game on, so that there's heat to the game and it fights condensation on the inside of the glass.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, every year we find a way. Back in 2022, the first year that I went, it was frosty the whole time.
Yep.
And I had a one-person borrowed tent. I had no idea it was a tarp coffin, basically, and just ended up sleeping in the back of my car
Oh,
the whole time. So
that was the year I had just before that drove back the new camper from where was it? It wasn't Washington. It was one of those northern states up there. Idaho. There we go. Flew out to Idaho and drove it back. That was my, I think, first camping trip with it.
nice.
So got to enjoy the heat. Also learn a bunch at the same time.
What about all the various games that you don't normally see at Dory Hill, or more about your camper?
Oh, no,
Is that what
sorry. It
you're-
was just the camper. Yeah, sorry. To figure all the campers are all, every camper's very unique. If you've ever been into RVs, they all have unique things that they do that others don't, little weird pockets and holes that they try to find places for storage. And on top of that, we had a guest staying with us as well. So we were kind of figuring out how the whole thing worked, just and fly by the seat of your pants. And so we hadn't really done anything with the camper yet.
Sure.
But
Sure.
planning on bringing that back up this year and feel much better about the whole thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So there goes Dory Hill.
Okay.
There's a lot of whoppers at Dory Hill.
There have been, which surprises me, because pin golf is a shitty format. It's not worth that much.
We do have a lot of people that come in from out of town to get into Dory Hill. Mm-hmm. And then it also attracts a lot of big names in Colorado. Colorado actually has quite the list of pinball players high up on the Whopper list.
Yeah, it's a little bit lackluster as far as that's concerned this year. Like, I don't think Escher's on the list. I don't think Walt Wood's on the list. Donovan maybe.
Okay.
But I'm also not. I haven't brushed up on my state regional rankings in a minute either. But yeah, so It might be easier to win without those folks in there, but at the same time, the extra points that they bring, I don't know if it's going to counteract that badly. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. I'm not as like gung ho about Whoppers as much as I used to be, but I do have a pretty good suggestion regarding how to start tournaments in your area if you're looking to get sanctioned events where all your players are ranked.
Before we
Stuff
go
like
there,
that.
let's catch up on chat here really quick.
Okay.
It's been a hot minute. So what do we got here? Ghost Flipper, Barry O knows. They probably have 498 still on hand, insinuating that American Pinball may have only sold one or two. And Amiga Cami, welcome. Hello. Good evening. Slightly different format than normal if you're just joining us. This is Paul. I'm George. We have a podcast called Basement Dad's Pinball Podcast, and we're trying our first live podcast. But I am going to go back and edit it afterwards before we publish. Let me see. You tell me how to get pins in my area, then we can work on getting tourneys set up.
Okay.
First concern,
Fair.
how do we get pinball to an area? Not a problem out here in Colorado.
No.
Weirdly.
No. I mean, I'm selling 2 games if you want them.
Yeah. What 2 games are you selling?
I'm selling Walking Dead and I'm selling World Cup Soccer.
Interesting. Paragon fan says, ever played Whitewater?
Yeah.
Yes.
All the time.
Whitewater, very fun game. Now, what do you think of Whitewater?
I think it's all right. It's easy to get to the upper playfield. So normally I'm hesitant about games with an upper playfield on them.
Sure.
So if it's easy to get to the upper playfield, it should be hard to stay in the upper playfield, which it is, thankfully.
Yeah. Now, why does Whitewater get so much love, do you think, despite the fact that there's nothing like overly tough or difficult about it?
I don't know. I think it's just that goofy 90s quality. Like why you could say the same thing about Attack from Mars or Medieval Madness
Okay.
in a way. Why those are also non-licensed titles.
Sure.
So why do they get love as well? And it's because of the comedy, I would think. And,
Okay.
And the classic nature of nostalgia factor, right? Of maybe somebody saw Whitewater somewhere. I think it was a fairly highly manufactured game.
Yeah.
I think there's quite a few copies of it.
Got it. So it's out there. I would say that Medieval Madness and Attack from Mars and even
Monster
Addams
Bash?
Family and Monster Bash, like all 4 of those to me are more fun physically to play than Whitewater. And I bring this up, not that this was on the list of topics, but it kind of blows my mind that Whitewater commands such a high price or a high value for it, but I would argue it's like the most wood choppy of wood choppy pins. Like it's do the thing over and over and over again. And if you can pull in 5X with that random pop bumper thing, great, you put up some big points.
I don't know why the prices are the way they are, George, because, I mean, I have a Papa Duke game that I'm selling. Now, typically, Papa Duke's games like Theater of Magic and Totan, Tales of the Arabian Nights, they are pretty, they ask a pretty penny for those 2 games. But World Cup Soccer, no, not so much.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, because World Cup Soccer is like...
It's a great game.
The most intuitive game to play pinball where you don't have to explain anything at all. You're just like, yeah, there's a goalie and a goal.
Yeah.
You know how soccer works.
That goalie always blows my mind. Some days I feel like I slip the goalie $100 and they're helpful, and other days I can't make it past the goalie for the life of me.
And you have the call outs are from the same guy that did NBA Jam.
Oh, right. He's on fire. That guy.
Yeah. Boom shakalaka.
Is it just because it's soccer? Or football?
Maybe. Yeah, it's not. Soccer's not huge here in the U.S. If it was like American football, it might be that. But I don't know. There's enough soccer moms out there. Like that's
You'd think.
a term from the Al Gore times.
All right. Next up on fun stuff to talk about. You were going to bring up local tournaments and formats, right?
Yeah. So if you're looking to start your pinball scene, kind kind of my philosophy whenever I'm making a new format is to do what the people like first and foremost. It should kind of be of a no-brainer, but I don't know. There is temptation to like make every tournament worth the most that you can, as far as the TGP is concerned, like the tournament grading percentile. But yeah, ultimately you want to do what everybody wants to do, what's fun for the people in your area, and then beyond that, I like to start with the format of what the finals are going to be. If it's a league, or even if it's one of the tournaments that I run like once every 3 months, where I want a finals aspect to it. The quick and dirty way to do it is just to take the number of matches within a round and how many rounds you're going to have, and then multiply it by a number of players in each group multiplier.
Okay.
So the way I approach all of this is I can't control who shows up and how many people show up.
Sure.
Okay, so those are two things that are really going to determine how much your competitive event is worth for Whoppers that you have no control over, in my opinion, for any tournament. We're even talking with Carl. He can't. I mean, he can put ads out there, and he knows he has plenty of friends that he knows to talk to, but ultimately, nobody can control how many and who shows up to any of their events. So what you can control is how much it's worth. So if you do, like, just let's say it's for your finals, you're going to take the top 4 and you're going to do 3 games. You're going to do a Papa 3 style. So 4-2-1-0 scoring, which, by the way, that whatever kind of scoring you use has no effect on how many Whoppers your event's worth.
Okay.
It's just how many games you played and how many people were in your group.
Now I'm curious, when you talk about trying to achieve, like, maximize the points, what kind of a difference are we talking about? Because my concern, and I as someone with a kid and also a need to get up at some point, like,
Sure.
I always get frustrated when a tournament, like, I know that the maximum number of points for first place is going to be like less than 2. But spending 8 hours, let's say, in a tournament to win possibly like 1.8 or something like that, Whopper points, to me, like, at some point I start to lose interest.
Sure.
Even if I'm doing really well in the tournament, because
Yeah.
it's fun. It's a lot of fun, but it seems like you're stretching it potentially unnecessarily. So imagine you maximize, but, like, what if you don't maximize? How impactful is that? Are you going from like 2 Whopper points at first place down to 1.75? Or are you going from 2 Whopper points down to like 1 Whopper point?
That's not an easy answer to give, because how many of those Whoppers are is dependent on how many people show up and who they are, how high their ranking and rating is.
Now,
basically. But everybody who has 5 events under their belt will bring a half a point to the pot, minimum.
okay.
So we're talking to newer players. So that might be another strategy as well. If you're trying to build a snowball, because the Whoppers do have relatively a snowball effect,
Okay.
right? Where, oh, okay, well, now that I have 5 events under my belt, now I'm bringing a half a point to the pot. Okay, and that half a point is based off of an event that doesn't have finals. So let's say you did a head-to-head tournament and you played 26 games. That's super freaking long, going back to what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But that event, since it's head-to-head, there's no group multiplier. So each game played head-to-head is worth 4%. So if we play 25 games head-to-head, I think I said 26 before, let's make it 25.
Okay.
Okay? 100%. 100% TGP.
Okay.
So if I had 10 players who all brought a half a point to the pot, then the total Whopper pot in that scenario would be 5 Whoppers.
And if you only played, let's say,
5 Whoppers.
20 games, you would get 80% of that instead of 100.
Correct.
Got it.
Okay. Yep. So now, if you add finals onto that, Now, there are like restrictions on how many people you need to have. Finals has to have a minimum number of people. And also, I think maybe a maximum number of rounds as well. But it doesn't have to be even Steven between your qualifiers and your finals.
Got it. You could do 8 rounds of qualifiers and 4 rounds of finals.
Yeah. So let's say let's go back to the scenario where we're playing 3 games for finals.
Okay.
And it's final 4.
Got it.
The top 4, and they're all going into one group. And we'll do 7-5-3-1 scoring. Whoever's got the most points after 3 games is the winner, and it's down from there. First, second, third, fourth.
Yep.
Finishers. Okay, so in that scenario, we're playing 3 games. It's 1 round of 3 matches, and there's 4-player groups. So that you take 1 round times 3. So that's 3 times 2. Now we're talking 6. And that's only with your top 4 players. Let's expand that a little bit and make it your top 8 players for finals. This is a very traditional, often seen finals format.
Yep.
Okay, so top 8 players, semifinals, and the top 2 from each group get thrown into the final group. And so now we've got 2 rounds of 3 games each, 2 rounds, 3 matches, multiplier of times 2. So now you're talking, instead of 25 games played for 100%, we have 2 times 3 times 2. So that's 12. 12 out of 25 TGP for 100%. 12 out of 50 TGP.
Okay.
I'm confusing the terms here, but that's also like kind of unfortunately by design. There's meaningful games played. If you're a TD and you're entering in your tournament on the IFPA pinball website, it's going to ask you meaningful games played and then in parentheses TGP.
Which is not total games played.
No. TGP is tournament grading percentile. So it is out of 200%. It maxes out at 200% according to the IFPA.
Okay.
Meaningful games play is a range between maybe 4. I think you have to play at least 4 games to make it a tournament. It can't just be a 1-round tournament and then you're done.
Okay.
But it maxes out at 50 meaningful games played. So if every game's at 4% value, then 4 times 50, you get 200%.
Got it. So now we kind of understand that you can either run head-to-head for so many games, and then whoever's ahead, I'm guessing, is who wins, and that is worth a certain number of points, or you can add a finals component to it and increase the points.
Yeah, if you're not doing finals, you're capped at 100%.
Okay.
If you add finals into it, you can max it out to 200%.
So going back then to the formats that you were recommending, if you were trying to spin up or actually start tournaments in your area.
Yeah.
Do you have any specifics that you would recommend there?
So I would, like I was trying to allude to it before, but we always get sidetracked, don't we?
Yeah.
Right. So keep in mind what your community likes, the way that they like to play. If you want to switch it up every once in a while, do that. That's kind of what I try and do. At once every 3 months, I'll do something, either a different format that I go back to every now and again, or mix it up and do something completely fresh. But I wouldn't suggest like just scheduling all of that on the IFPA calendar. It's like, oh, let's try this max match play thing now. And that's just what we're doing now from now on. You're going to probably lose some people if you do that. But if you try something out new and everybody likes it, then you can bring it back more and more often. And if your community eventually wants to switch to that, then go for it. You've got experience under your belt. You know how to run it at that point and everything too. But ultimately, regardless of what your community wants to do, you should look at maximizing. If you're trying to get that snowball effect, you should look at maximizing your TGP for your finals. Start with your finals first and just go, I don't know, 2 to 5 matches, and decide how many. If it's the top 8, then you multiply that by 4, basically.
Okay.
A 2x multiplier for the 4-player groups, and then a 2x multiplier for the number of rounds that you're doing. And so even if you do 2 times 5 times 2, we're now looking at 20 out of 50. And so your qualifiers only need to be, they could be 15. Is that right? Man, it's all confusing, guys. But no, if you're doing like 4-player groups before that, then you really only have to make up that difference now. You know, like, okay, so we did 2 times 2 times 5, right? That's 20.
Okay.
Out of a max of 50. So now for our qualifiers, we only need 30 meaningful games to be played. And if they're in 4-player groups, it's actually only 15 meaningful games to be played because those ones get a 2x multiplier.
Okay.
In the end. So yeah, that's usually my approach. It was a little more long-winded than I wanted, but that's my life in general.
You spend a lot of time doing
Brevity is not my strong suit.
or El Deuterino if you're not into the whole brevity thing. Okay.
Exactly.
Next up here, we've got after we catch up on chat, we can talk about Stern
You're
Next
so much
titles.
better at that.
So catching back up, we already said hey to Amiga Cami. Let's see here. We another one is Centaur. Another fun game. What are your thoughts on Centaur?
I maybe have played it once or twice. It was at a pinball museum of sorts.
Okay.
In Pennsylvania. I don't remember what that place was called. But it was in Pittsburgh, basically. And it was record-breaking temperatures in September. And it was like $10 or $20 an hour. But it was a huge, huge collection.
Okay. Now, are you a fan of the artwork?
Yeah.
Yeah. The black and white with the...
It's very gothic,
Mad Max.
very 80s, very weird. Half
human, half motorcycle.
Yeah.
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 It really does feel like they were trying for Mad Max and just didn't get the license. I think there's a lot of those stories out there. I don't know if that's the actual story for Centaur, though.
It might be. I don't know. Was Python D'Angelo involved?
I don't know.
Damn.
I mean, we do have a computer right here. We probably could look it up.
We're not Silverball Chronicles.
David. So CNK came to slide down the banister. CNK, welcome. Hollywood Polo wants to know what we had for dinner. Paul, what'd you have for dinner?
Domino's chicken bacon ranch pizza.
Ooh, that sounds amazing. Did you do it with jalapenos? No?
Nope. I just get standard. But one thing I have been ordering from Domino's, which I gotta stop doing it and just start making my own pizzas. I'll get hamburger, onions, cheddar cheese, and then when they deliver it, I'll throw some pickled relish on top.
Oh my gosh, it's a burger pizza.
It's a cheeseburger pizza.
Yeah.
The only way to make it better is instead of tomato sauce for a base, you take a 50-50 mixture of ketchup and
tomato?
mustard.
Oh, and mustard. Oh my God, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Hollywood likes it. CNK says sounds wonderful. So Ghost Flipper had Vietnamese spring rolls, which Ghost Flipper had none of that. What did I have? I made Meta Nightman. Welcome to the stream. We'll come back to that later. What did I have? Oh, I made chicken parmesan for dinner tonight with pasta. So a nice, easy marinara chicken smothered in a non-dairy Parmesan cheese, and
Nice.
that with a side salad. So it was a nice, decent little meal.
I recently introduced my girlfriend to garlic stuffed green olives because she said that she told me she's got like a salt deficient. Like she tried it and she's like, "This is amazing."
No,
You don't like salt grapes?
No, salt grapes. I like black olives now. I hated all olives as a kid. I can do black olives now, and I will have them because they're supposed to be very good for you. But I can't do green olives. It's just way too much.
No, she wasn't aware of the fact that they stuffed it with anything else other than pimento.
Okay.
And there's like jalapeno stuffed olives,
Okay.
garlic clove stuffed olives.
I've definitely tried the garlic.
Yeah, and it's her new favorite thing.
Okay.
But we've kind of perfected a recipe that we're totally going to be bringing to Dory Hill. Brought it to the potluck for the pinball league.
Tourney.
Yeah, and we also made like a pound of it for ourselves, and then she promptly got COVID. So I was like, oh well, I guess I can't.
I didn't go to the
have any of that
tournament.
stuff.
In the off chance, I still I was already approaching. I would think I was like day 8 or day 9. So at this point, I'm on like day 14.
The recipe is not for garlic stuffed olives, though. The recipe is for Hawaiian mac salad.
I'm so confused. You just blew my mind. Are you saying that you brought salad?
We brought Hawaiian mac salad to the tournament. We're gonna be bringing it to Dory Hill as
Got it.
well.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like grated carrots, some diced green onions. It calls for like a lot of recipes that you can find out there. It's just friggin' mayo.
Okay.
It's cooked like overcooked pasta and mayo. But we add some heavy cream in there to the mayo.
Okay.
So it's immediately off your list with
It's
with the heavy cream.
Yeah.
But I also like grate an onion. It basically ends up becoming like the sweet onion puree, where I'll just grate half a freaking onion into this dressing. Basically,
Sounds amazing.
We'll throw some MSG in there, some salt, some pepper,
Okay.
maybe some garlic.
Yeah. Keep going. Keep going.
Some garlic. Yeah, and then after that it's typically it's grated carrots and then diced green onions. I like to dice up some Spam and throw some French's crispy onions on top.
The Spam makes it sound very Hawaiian. If you were going for something Hawaiian.
Typically it's not with Spam, but it's just supposed to be a thing that you'd find at a barbecue, a Hawaiian barbecue. As a side to whatever meaty dishes they got going on there.
Also, Meta Nightman wants to know favorite pizza pies. Or maybe it was just a question of your favorite pizza.
That cheeseburger one's up there. That if anybody's from the Midwest, out here in Colorado, we don't have a Casey's General Store. In my like late teens, I worked at one back when I lived in Iowa, and they had the most amazing pizzas. A gas station.
Okay, for a gas station.
No,
a gas station.
no. It happened to be a gas station,
Now-
but they had the most amazing pizzas.
How close were you to St. Louis and that weird 3 cheese thing that St. Louis does? Was it that kind of cheese?
I don't know what that is.
You don't know that cheese?
No.
All good.
Okay.
St. Louis does a very special type of cheese, and it's 3 cheeses mixed together, but that's like their city's cheese, and it's like that's the only way you can get pizzas in
Okay.
St. Louis is their 3 cheese combination.
So you're from one of the Illinois.
Yes.
Where is
One of the Illinois?
one of the Illinois. So is Chicago style deep dish or not?
Okay, for me, it is deep dish stuffed. So this would be where the meat is stuffed underneath the cheese and then the marinara goes on top.
To me, that's not Chicago style. Chicago style is where you put the sauce on top of the toppings.
Sure,
You
yeah.
put the sauce on at the end, but it's not a deep dish style.
So
We're not talking a lasagna pizza here.
No, yeah, lasagna pizza. Sorry, you have to go
No.
either Giordano's or Lou Malnati's. Those 2 pizzas right there, man. The kind that's like this thick, the crust is crispy and it's amazing, and it goes up the side, and it has like a pinwheel of sausage across, like its crust, a pinwheel of sausage, a whole bunch of toppings, cheese, and then marinara over the top of it.
Listen, you can call it whatever you want, but I don't think the way that pizza kind of veers off. It has too many variants of what's standard to be considered pizza.
It's a pizza pie.
That it's very much a pie.
Yeah.
It's almost pizza cake.
It's sure I'd be okay. Like, and what's funny is Lou Malnati's now does a sweet version of it too. So
Right.
they do make a pizza pie cake.
I think if you are comparing different like styles of pizza, like New York pizza versus Chicago style, etc., you don't do the deep dish for that competition, but you still do put the tomato sauce on top of the toppings. Tomato sauce goes on last and bakes and melts down through, so the whole thing is saucy.
It doesn't matter. When I go out to Chicago, I get the thin crust version of what I just described. So they
Okay.
do a non-deep dish version.
That's what I'm saying. Do that.
It's amazing, but it's not what I grew up with. But
Okay.
that's what I do because they don't offer a dairy-free cheese, and the gluten-free crust sucks. So I basically just suck it up and expect that I'm going to be in... I try to do it the night before I head back. So that way the drive back, I'm feeling horrible, but I don't get to, like, I'm not struggling because I'm dairy. I have issues with dairy and issues with gluten. But so I just say, screw it. I'm going to do it while I'm out there. But I try to time it where it's the last night I'm in Chicago. So that way my 16-hour drive back, I feel really awful. And it's not like while I'm still trying to enjoy whatever event I'm at in Chicago, which is almost always Expo.
Okay, well, now that we're firmly off the rails here.
Yes. Back on. Stern's next titles.
Oh, do we have to?
Do we have? I mean, I want to because I wanted to justify talking about X-Men '97. Did you watch?
I'm still on like this second episode that I watched.
It was a great way to kill two birds with one stone. We could talk about themes and also talk about a television show that I just assumed you would have been in on from the start. Like,
Oh no, I am. I'm also like busy. I'm trying to make this.
No. Yeah, you're doing things.
Trying to like build this punk underground pinball scene.
All right. Then we'll go over it quickly. What I hear is X-Men '97 is up next. Then we have potentially a Metallica remake with an LCD with minor changes to the playfield. And then finally, it sounds like Pokemon might be happening a little bit later. And then after that, I have no idea.
Okay, only one of those things is relevant.
Which is
Pokemon.
Well, why is Pokemon the only one that's relevant?
Because Metallica's old news.
You don't mean relevant to the podcast. You mean like relevant to the current
Zeitgeist. Yeah.
Boom. Just yes. Well done.
Second time that
I know you've used it once already earlier.
You owe me 2 Cokes. Yeah, no, I mean X-Men '97 is
amazing.
old news by design.
Sure.
It doesn't matter if it's amazing or not, but I don't think it's gotten the level of hype that is Pokemon.
Oh, I don't have whatever that is. How do I get to see? Nope, I'm in the wrong place. Hold on. We're leveling up right now. Nope, I'm in the wrong place. Channel. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Really? There we go.
I don't even know what happened.
There we go. It was Aviation Through. Just followed us. Aviation, thank you so much for that follow.
All right, so yeah, am I a huge Pokemon fan? Personally, no.
But you think it's still relevant?
Yeah, definitely. That'll get butts and seats.
That will definitely get people into places that have pinball if there was a massive Pokemon.
Much more than what Stern is going to be doing again. They've already done Metallica. They'd be doing Metallica again. They've already done X-Men. They'd be doing X-Men again.
Yeah, honestly, has Stern had as big of a theme as Pokemon yet?
Maybe Game of Thrones.
Maybe Game of Thrones
at the time.
At its height.
Yeah,
It was huge. And then
Star Wars, Beatles.
It's weird.
Beatles is way much more of a title than
Sure, it's a huge
anything else
title,
that we've
but
said.
it didn't sell all that
Nope,
well.
it didn't because
Because it's the Beatles, and they didn't choose, I feel like, a great age for Beatles music on top of everything else.
yeah, it was the Fab Four. It wasn't the Paul is Dead, Yellow Submarine era,
now-
Abbey Road, all that.
Going back into Pokemon, do you think with Insider Connected, there's going to be some sort of a Pokemon Go integration or something like Pokemon Go?
I have a feeling that it's actually going to be no, because the license of Pokemon expands far and wide, and the controller of the cards versus the controller of the cartoon versus the controller of the Nintendo games versus the controller of the app.
So you think licensing restrictions are going to
All going to be different people.
Okay.
And another penny to pay.
Okay. I actually heard that there was potentially some licensing issues holding the game up.
Strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Would not surprise me whatsoever.
Exactly for the reasons you just said. Like, there's a lot of different places to go in order to nail the licensing down.
Yeah. That makes. I would think that's should come with the territory. It should be the opposite of surprise. It should be expected that there's going to be delays in this. It's a minefield, licensing wise.
Did you ever watch the cartoon? Any of the Pokemon cartoons? I've been kind of forced to watch it. I didn't watch it growing up at all, but now my kid got into Pokemon, so she's very into Pokemon. And she also told me in no uncertain terms that if that Pokemon pinball game were to come out, she absolutely expects me to pick up a Pokemon game.
Yeah. I always wanted to, somewhat of a dream of mine, if I wanted to go down the restoration or retheming of pinball's aspect of the hobby, then I would have taken my World Cup Soccer and rethemed it into Pokemon.
Right.
And probably would have changed a little bit of the rules. So there's those 3 different spots for your skill shot, right? So each different one that you pick could be your starter Pokemon, and then you just take graphics straight from the Game Boy, pop it up on the DMD, you're done.
Seems easy. Well, I mean, probably not easy.
No, it's not.
Sorry, it
not
seems like
easy
the
at all.
game kind of makes itself.
I didn't do it, so.
Okay.
But you could.
Checking back in with chat here, we got Ice Skidoo in the chat. Welcome. Metallica from CNK doesn't need another. Judas Priest needs a turn. I can't tell you. I know I've heard the name Judas Priest, but I couldn't tell you the music that Judas Priest does.
I probably can't right now either.
Okay.
Honestly, but I don't know. I think we need more hip hop.
Sorry,
More
more
hip-hop
hip
rap.
hop or just a hip hop?
A
hip hop. Yeah.
hip hop.
I gotta say, I'm done with the dad rock. Even though dad rock is changing,
Yeah.
like dad rock, I feel like would be Weezer maybe at this point. And as much as I would love Weezer, I feel like we need some sort of hip hop thing.
I'm over Weezer, honestly. I don't like it anymore.
QDL, welcome. Still wants a My Little Pony Friendship is Magic game. I think in a small batch that would destroy. All 100 units would sell in a heartbeat.
Yeah, if we're going smaller units, we could talk anything here. But if we're talking like pretty much anything that Stern
Yeah.
does.
Stern wants everything to sell like Godzilla.
Yeah, but that's not reality.
No,
I
Pokemon
don't,
will though.
I think even Gomez knows that not everything's going to be a big banger like Godzilla was. You're still not all about it.
No. I'm more inclined, I feel like, to enjoy some Godzilla.
Okay.
At this point, just because I got a good break from it, and then I got a chance to play over at Amanda's place with Amanda and Michael, and kind of started to enjoy it again.
You should play Godzilla at Pinball Jones again because our flippers needed to be rebuilt for so fucking long. And now that they are, it's like, whoa, it should have played this for Pin Clash, like when I participated in that friggin' years ago.
You know what does play amazing over at Pinball Jones now is the Addams Family.
Oh.
I have always struggled with Addams Family, and it's like somebody went and took new Stern flippers and however it works on a new Stern and put it into Addams Family.
Yeah, they're pretty powerful.
Since then, every time I've played Addams Family, I have rolled or what's the primary goal when you make it through the castle or make it through the house?
Tour the
I've toured
mansion.
the mansion every time I played it.
Yeah.
And so I went from never having toured the mansion ever to touring it, I think, five times.
Ramp scoop,
Ramp scoop.
man.
Just being able to do that though with the cool flippers, like it's super reliable though.
I got to during the pin golf, or sorry, it wasn't the finals for our pin golf league were not pin golf, so we were playing 4-player games again. That game came up. That game got picked.
It's a good one.
And I got to tour the mansion. And by the time my ball ended, I didn't last during tour the mansion for terribly long, but I had like a 4x multiplier.
Not bad. So what'd you put up?
Bonus multiplier. I don't remember.
Did you win?
I did win that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. I got into a tie break with Dan. Picked turtles because I wanted to get the hell out of there. And then
That's a quick game.
I got third. So.
The Turtles at Pinball Jones is the most brutal version of Turtles I have ever played.
Yeah. I would like to tune it up a little bit more. I think it's fun.
It's super fun. Don't get me wrong.
No, well, I think some of I don't know, if the shots were like a little bit easier, like what if I could adjust that upper flipper so that if you full plunged, then the ball would come screaming around as you're holding in your left flipper.
Right.
The ball comes. Do I have to mirror image screaming around to the left?
No, I think it's just mirrored for us.
Okay. Well, screaming around to the left, hits your held up upper flipper, and what if it ricocheted into completing that side ramp?
No, now I'm blown away. I think it is mirrored. I'm holding up my left hand, which looks like my right hand. Yep.
Is it?
I think it's mirrored.
But this
Whatever.
is. No, it's not mirrored.
So that definitely looks like it's my right hand.
If I'm looking at you, your L is backwards. Your L is backwards on the screen. It's not mirrored. If it was mirrored, you're sitting over there. You'd be looking at the screen. You'd be sitting where I am on the screen.
Oh, got it.
Man, you're gonna love editing this.
Well, no. None of this has really been on topic. In fact, we can go back into to chat really quick before moving over into the next one, which I think is going to be my favorite topic for the night.
Yeah.
But first of all, iSkidoo is getting over COVID. iSkidoo, same over here. This is like day 12 or 13 for me. Much better the past 2 or 3 days. Well past, yeah, just overall, it sucked. That was a rough week there. I haven't taken off due to sickness from work in a while, and I almost took off, not last week Friday, but the week before's Friday.
Okay.
I realize as I say that, maybe that doesn't sound significant, but it's literally been, I think, 2 years since I've taken off any work due to sickness, and that was a migraine. I've gotten COVID 2 or 3 times since then, and it's all been awful. And I almost said screw it, but there's just way too much going on at work right now.
Yeah, totally fair. All right, so catching up on chat.
Pinball Effects asking about Princess Bride and Goat Simulator.
Princess Bridge.
Oh, it does say Bridge. And Goat Simulator on Pinball Effects. You know what? I don't do pinball effects.
I don't either. The closest I get to virtual pinball is Pinball Deluxe Reloaded on this is a little stupid app game on your phone.
Oh.
It's kind of fun sometimes, but it's not like any real like themes. Even stuff like Goat Simulator. Like Goat Simulator is a theme. No, this is all your generic Space Cadet-esque style of games.
I have thought about diving into 2 pinball games on a computer, and both of them I think are made by the same makers. It's like Metroidvania, like a roguelite version of a pinball game. It looks intense, has great music. I think the first one that they did had Lion Man in it.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know what the name of either of those games are. But those are the only ones I think I so far would go play that would be any kind of virtual game. But it doesn't play like virtual pinball. It's not like it's a real machine. It's a game where you're playing and you're in the lower portion of the play field and you hit to the top one, you get a new set of flippers, and then you make it up to the third top and you end up fighting the boss, and your goal is to do as much damage to the boss as possible. Like it.
Gotcha.
It's a very unique interpretation of a like computer version.
Oh,
of a
I think I
pinball.
know which one you're talking about. Aren't you like a little beetle or something that's delivering mail?
No.
No, there is
Sorry,
one like that.
you're
It's kind of like
talking
a
like a-
Metroidvania game.
Okay.
And you play a little cute little cartoon
Demon's
beetle.
Tilt. Hollywood
Okay.
Polo got it. Demon's Tilt is the and Demon's Tilt. The same company did a second one, but the one you're talking about is like a side scroller.
Yeah, it's been
platformer.
around for years. The physics on it are terrible, but it's like a cute little story, and it's cool that it's they're mixing Metroidvania stuff.
Yeah.
With pinball. So it sounds like Demon's Tilt like used that as inspiration. Because that other game I'm talking about has been around for years.
It's and Crypt FX Crypt of the Necro Dancer is fun. Okay. Yeah. Now with that, we either could go into music or we could talk about video games. But I feel like music.
Yeah, we go into the music.
Music. Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't you prep this one and I'll go over to the computer.
Okay. So wait, which one are we starting with?
We're starting with the first one you gave us. Oop, somebody did something.
Oh, okay. So this is Skull Dusk. This is we're just doing I think we mentioned at the top of the podcast, we're doing our top 3 songs that we're listening to while we're playing pinball right now.
Well, I mean, we're not playing pinball at this second.
No, but the songs that we've been listening to lately right now.
All right.
Is what I mean.
First one. Now, this is one of your songs, right?
Yeah.
Now, I haven't heard this whole thing yet, but I'm going to say I heard the intro and immediately added it to my pinball
It's
list.
supposed. I don't know. It's pretty repetitive for sure.
Okay.
But I'm gonna grab one more.
Ah, okay. So this should be coming through nice and loud for everybody. And Pog, welcome to the stream. So we're listening to Paul's top 3 songs to play. Yeah, the minion's good. While playing, I'm guessing specifically competitive pinball. Now, does this hit some sort of a crescendo of types or? Oh,
I mean, there's a bridge.
yeah, okay.
It's a princess bridge, if you will.
Nice. +1. Yeah, it's got a good sound to it. A little bit of the Never-Ending Story mixed with some like Outrun style disco. Yeah, I'm happy I added this to my list. This is a good one. Now, you have a history, by the way, of feeding me very good music for pinball.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I want you to know it's appreciated. All right. So, I want to let everybody know, I feel like we set a really high coming into this with music that we listen to. Are the next 2 songs going to be as amazing as that song?
I might want to reorder them.
Okay.
The Lucian Kimono song should probably be number 2 here.
All right, switching over to this is Paul's second song right now.
Yeah.
And is this specific for competitive pinball or just pinball?
Yeah, the third one you had like briefly listened to before, not this one, but yeah, you were just like it was kind of okay, but no, it gave me like I got over 200 on Jaws on my first ball, which isn't like spectacular or anything, but it was enough to have kind of a devastating lead in the group I was in.
Okay. So this is a bit of a slow intro, a slow start.
I've been slowing things down a lot lately. Just breathe, just get that flow going.
Sure. I feel like this is a song that Manu would really like. Like this, Manu, who has been mixing a lot of music recently live on Twitch. Like this is a throwback to, I feel like just chill. I don't know, early 80s, late 70s.
Oh yeah, it's totally late 70s.
Late 70s? Okay.
Look at like the album cover over there. It's trippy as shit, man.
Oh,
It's very psychedelic art.
Okay. Now, does it pick up at some point? Should I skip around the song?
There's gonna be some more guitar parts.
Okay. You always come at me with many different styles of music. It's not just outrun, or it's not just like drum and bass, or
It is usually just instrumental though.
You're right.
Typically, it is
typically okay. Yeah. I feel like Sade is about to start singing. Like this is instrumental, and then we're about to get a very.
I don't know. It's like teetering on the edge of almost being like a Mario Kart track. Not this part,
Mario Kart,
but the guitar parts. Yeah, for sure.
I wish
Mario Kart's got some like slappy, jazzy,
okay,
type stuff going on.
I wish I had the vocab to tell you why this reminded me of The Cure a little bit. For they're just in some of the tones it's choosing, but outside of that, it's like mid '80s jazz.
Yeah.
With like maybe a '70s style, like the drum beat or the sound of the drums feels a little '70s. All right. This is very much like you're seducing the pinball machine is kind of what I'm imagining. All right, so that was number 2. Here is Paul's number 3 song.
No, this is number 1.
Sorry.
This is the one I was crushing it at.
Oh.
Oh yeah. We got a long build up here, but once
it hits.
it's there, oh, that's so good, man.
Paul's just getting all just like, no. This is good.
Yeah.
This is good. It's gonna hit. It hits just that right
No, a lot of times I'll send these songs to Tony, who's like the only bartender at Pinball Jones during our free play Mondays. So he's there for 12 friggin' hours, like handling everybody, the busiest day of the week for Pinball Jones. And yeah, I'll just send it. Like we both curate like pinball music. He's got a big old list.
Now, do you have a particular playlist that you filter through and add stuff to and remove?
At this point, it's just my liked songs. Like,
okay.
So I'm at the arcade for work. I'm doing this. I'm writing a
Makes
zine.
Sense. So the way.
This is it, George.
Yeah. No, this has got a good song too. This one's not doing it for me. It's not a bad song.
Yeah, but you know how I play.
Oh yeah.
For me,
Paul, he's not even making it up. That's really when he really gets into it. That's what he looks like when he's playing pinball. He plays pinball like I can't think of her name, but from Seinfeld, how she dances. Elaine, thank you. I kept wanting to say Eileen. Yeah. All right. It's a good song. This one in particular is not as cool as Skull Dust. So that first song, that was Mr. Creep and Shared. What was it? Shred Kruger. The name of the song was called Skull Dusk. Number 2 was SP 2500 by Lucian Kimono. And number 3 was Lewis of Man with the song Flash. Now, I have like songs on Spotify.
Okay.
Anything I like goes into my like songs.
Right.
And I listen to my like songs a lot until I figure out what other playlist it goes into. And I have about 15 to 20 other playlists.
I don't have that kind of time.
I know. I get it. So I have a pinball playlist in particular, and these are the 3 most recently added ones that I'm still, like, I'm not bored of yet.
Okay.
So here's the first. So this has a particular sound and tone to it that I really, really like, but it gets repetitive, but I just like it.
This is kind of what I categorize as, like slog metal.
Just wait for it, because I get it. It sounds like metal, and then it throws in a little bit of like weird MGMT to it. So it's a little on the low side, and then it hits a little on the high, kind of quirky.
No, I know this song.
Oh, you do? Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, when I'm playing, what I want is typically nothing distracting, but something that has a good beat that I can get into,
Yeah.
and then kind of forget that I'm almost playing pinball.
Once we complete your list, I should give you one that is kind of my answer to this one.
Okay. And then the beat comes back in. Right? And then you just nod in your head, you're playing, and if you can get into that cool mode when you're playing, where you're just playing kind of on a beat, and I see you visually do it so well. Because once again, when Paul was over there just playing, just for a second, like that's what Paul looks like when he gets into a song. All right, it's pretty much this. So, I'm gonna move on to number 2. This one has some lyrics in it,
Okay.
but the lyrics are actually become part of the music over time.
I make music like it sounds something like
The problem with this one,
I make it sound
sorry, it's
I
hard to
make music like this.
interrupt the song. It's really loud in the background.
I go straight for the beat.
The problem with this one is it takes a while to get into
I
the
make
beat.
music like looks something like
Not there yet. Still. Okay, this is about where it gets musically consistent.
Right.
But
Yeah.
up and that's a hard part with this.
Yeah, typically like when there's frequent changes in tempo,
Yeah,
then it doesn't translate great.
but it gets there.
If it's like 1 or 2, it's fine. It actually
It's
is
just like for
better,
that first
but-
30 seconds, like if I'm sitting there and I'm just kind of like looking over the playfield, I'm just waiting for the beat to kick in before I get started. Also, I just really like the fact, like in this song, she's like, I make music like, and rather
I make
than
music like this. It sounds something like
she
that.
took the this out for the first bit and then showed you. So you know that show don't tell for writers.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like this is an example of that show don't tell. It gets weird, and then
I go straight for the
weird tempo changes, weird delays, and everything. So this maybe isn't my best song.
No, it's.
I would say-
we're not talking about best songs. We're talking about right now.
Yeah, right now. Okay, the number 3.
Okay.
This is my current just favorite song as a whole.
I make
And this one's
Uh,
number 3, number 1 on the list.
this is number 1 on the list.
Okay.
This is the 3rd one. So yeah, I kind of went the same
Yeah,
direction.
yeah.
Where the last one was
You
my
got to
favorite.
build up to the finishing touch, even though
Yeah.
I started strong for you with my list. In your opinion, I started strong.
In my opinion, yes. But your last song, I think, was your closer.
It works for me, yeah.
So
All that you see out in front of you
this guy's voice, like I want this guy's voice. And he ends up talking about what is and what anxiety truly is. And he just continues talking about it throughout the song, and then he ends it by explaining that being worried about the fact that you're worried about something is entirely useless. Like it does nothing besides, it's just a reminder that anytime you feel anxiety, like remind yourself that you're experiencing it for the sake of experiencing it rather than not that it always or it ever does anything, but I just love this song for that reason because it's a nice reminder. Especially having an 11-year-old right now.
Yeah.
Who is struggling as she goes back. Hey, what's brewing? And Pog, thank you. Oh, sorry, we're supposed to wait. I'm gonna have to cut that out, darn it. It's a lot of this, and then it goes back to the psychiatrist kind of talking about anxiety, and then it feeds back in. But yeah,
nice. So I don't call it slog. I call it trudge metal.
Trudge metal. Okay.
Yeah. So here's my trudge metal answer to that.
Oh wait, I got you.
Okay. It's Cursive by Scattle.
Cursive by Scattle.
Yes.
With an SK?
SCATTLE.
Cursive by Scattle. Ooh, I can tell I'm gonna like this already. Adding it to like songs.
But yeah, trudge metal. It's not the technical term for it, I'm sure, but it's very trudgy. It's like
like you're walking through
a swamp.
Yeah. It's funny. I had always assumed that this pacing or this kind of beat was what Outrun was, just with the synth vibe to it.
Yeah.
But this is crunchy metal, right? Oh, yeah. Give me all of your trudge metal. Like just send it all my direction.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's gonna do another part of this, and then it gets real.
Okay. Okay. Getting a little experimental. Bring it back in. Bring it back in. Just give me a good solid beat.
You want the bass to be there a little bit more.
Where is it?
It's gonna come back. There it is.
There it is. There it is. It got a little funny there for a second. Okay. It successfully brought it back. It's still on my liked, so I gotta add it to liked now. And like I told you, my process is it goes into liked, and then after, because I just constantly listen to my liked.
Yeah, once you get tired of it.
And then it's not tired. Once I realize then what playlist it's meant for.
Oh, okay.
Then it goes off of liked and into the playlist.
All right. Well, now you might have a new name for a playlist of just trudge metal.
No. That interesting. Okay, if I had to place that currently, that would actually fall into my what I would think of as synthwave or outrun playlist.
Okay.
It would still go into that because it's.
Yeah, I mean,
it's there.
Category. If you're making your own categories on Spotify. Wow,
yes.
Words. There's multiple categories that each song could go into, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And I do sometimes end up putting things into multiples. So a big one is I have a playlist I share with my daughter. So anytime I hear a song, like I know what she likes at this point. Like the kind of music that she is going to lose her stuff over, I will, when I hear it, I add it to liked and then figure out where it needs to go in my stuff because we share a lot of the same music, but then I always add it to her playlist. And what bothers me is how often she then decides to tell me about the song that I put on her playlist as though she's introducing me to new music.
Oh, okay.
And
I
I'm like,
gotcha.
no. Zoe, I introduced you to that. How do you think you even heard that song in the first place? She can't take that away. I spend a lot of time putting myself out there, listening to new music and listening to a lot of really awful music, at least in my opinion, in order to find those few golden songs here and there that are worth putting into the playlist. Specifically, then, to tie this back around with the goal occasionally of getting a song that makes it into the pinball playlist.
Have you heard of the Spark?
The Spark.
Yeah, it's this viral song that these kids from Ireland made.
No.
You should put it on.
Okay, we're putting it on. We're doing this.
It's The Spark by Cabin Crew.
Here it is. Oh, yes. Sorry. No, I'm sorry. I've heard that song, and that's a big no because we don't put... that song gets stuck in your head, and then you start repeating a lot of the rap.
Okay.
So no, we don't listen to that song anymore.
All right.
Okay, so before we go into the next topic, let's catch up on chat.
Do we even have a next topic?
We do have more topics.
Okay.
We don't have to. I mean, we could just call it good.
How long have we been? Okay.
We're approaching an hour and a half here at this point. So what do we got? We got Paul. What you drinking?
Yep.
Is Corona your favorite beer?
No, I'd say more Modelo these days.
Wow. Okay.
Modelo's like a nice, crisp, light beer that tastes like beer, and it's not like too heavy. It doesn't have like a strong aftertaste. I like my crispy boys.
Now, I notice every once in a while you bring over like a real dodgy IPA, I'd say. And then
Yeah.
90% of the time it's Montucky or Coronas. I know you brought over somewhat recently. So the most of the time I'd say it's a crispy standard beer, and it kind of varies as to what that is.
Yeah.
But every once in a while you bring over something that I know just destroys the senses every time you drink one. Was that like every once in a while you just get a taste for IPA?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've kind of been staying away from IPAs for a little while now, but yeah, I like it when I can feel it in the back of my throat, basically.
Okay. Yeah. You have to attack your taste buds every once in a
Okay,
while.
I thought you were gonna go.
Nope, I wasn't.
places
No,
with
that was way too easy. I'm not.
right.
Now, Man Adams says, when the Ghost movie pinball is made, you'll be jamming to Unchained Melody 24/7. Is that Man Adams Ghost as in like the movie with the making pottery together?
Demi Moore.
Yeah, but Demi
Patrick
Moore.
Swayze, Whoopi Goldberg.
Is it that? Because I kind of want to go check out Unchained Melody, but I'm guessing that's I had the time of your...
yeah.
Isn't that called Time of Your Life, though? Maybe it's called Unchained
But
Melody.
I can't help falling in love with you.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's the same song.
I don't think that's the same song
Yeah.
either. I'm going to have to go check out Unchained Melody now. All right. Unchained Melody. The Righteous Brothers.
Mamma mia, that's a
Oh, it's
spicy
that-
meatball.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's that one. Okay. And Kiwi Frenzy, good evening. So, Ghost movie pinball. What are the chances you think that Ghost turns into a pinball machine?
0. 0 to none. They'll make Dirty Dancing first.
Sure.
Before, if it's a Patrick Swayze pin, yeah, they're making Dirty Dancing first.
Interesting. Is there a Patrick Swayze film that...
Point Break.
There you go. Point Break.
But they're not going to make Point Break. They're going to make Fast and the Furious.
I don't understand that. Like Fast and the Furious, maybe 1 and 2 made sense. Fast and the Furious has just gotten so silly.
But Fast and Furious 1 was Point Break.
Let me think about that. It was a cop going undercover and going too far undercover.
And falling in love with the thing he was trying to...
But have you ever yelled R and shot your gun up into the air?
Right? Right? Roadhouse. Yeah, Roadhouse could also be up there. But are they going to do the Patrick Swayze Roadhouse, or are they going to do the
new Jake Gyllenhaal Roadhouse? I never saw the OG Roadhouse.
It's okay.
Yeah. I thought the new Roadhouse was also okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm just really excited for new content on streaming services.
But it's regurgitated. Why? I don't think it had anything to do with the actual Roadhouse. It was way more about MMA fighting than Roadhouse ever was. The original Roadhouse ever was.
Right. Well, because MMA wasn't a thing.
Right.
Back
So
then.
why are you calling it Roadhouse? Why can't you just make your own story and be original?
Obi-Wan, I'm sorry. Yeah, I've never seen Roadhouse. I've never seen a lot of older films. The pacing, I feel like, in movies in the
slow.
late 70s and earlier
Yeah.
is slower than what I typically can
Yeah.
focus on for an
People
extended
didn't have
period.
shit to do back then. so let's waste as much time as we can while they're in this movie theater at the mall.
All right, jumping back in. What do we got next? We've got... we did that. I guess we can't do video games. Have you played any new video games recently?
Somewhat. Not during in the last 3 months, definitely.
What have you played?
Tunic. I like Tunic a lot.
That's the one with the mouse, right?
It's a fox.
Fox, I'm sorry. It's
But
a fox.
in a secret language. It's a fox and a yes, it is. There's a language in the game that is not real that you can decode. I don't think you have to, but the game gives you no instructions. It does give you instructions, but it's in this coded language. So good luck. Yeah.
Okay, so you've been playing Tunic. Now, what platform is that on?
I got it on PS4, but my PS4's like been freaking crashing a lot
Uh-oh.
lately.
Okay.
So, and I'm not gonna get another. I'm done with consoles. Console's a inferior version of your computer that you can buy for probably cheaper.
Okay. I mean,
Or buy for more expensive, but do way more than your stupid PS4, 5, Xbox, 1080, whatever it is now.
now with Xbox, though, you can pick it up and pay basically a monthly fee if you want to and have access to thousands of games.
Oh, okay. There's nothing like that on the internet?
I don't. I'm assuming with Microsoft, you could probably do that and play it on your PC as opposed to the console.
Isn't there this thing called Steam?
Oh, no. Steam doesn't have a monthly fee, does it?
No, but it has a shit ton of cheap games that you can play whenever you want.
Sure. I just meant, I guess if you're really into gaming and you somehow can justify the purchase for $15 a month, like if you would buy 2 or 3 video games a month.
I don't know. I might have gotten a lot older in the last 3 months, guys, because I'm just not going to shell out money for a console for a particular game that's exclusive to that console when it's probably just going to come out on Steam, unless it's Nintendo. Like
Nintendo, yeah.
Nintendo and Zelda, that's not only going to be on whatever Nintendo console is happening at the time. Pretty much everything else. Like I really got into Horizon Zero Dawn
Okay.
and stuff like that. And that was when that came out, that was a PlayStation exclusive. Now you can get it on Steam. It's right there. So why
lock yourself into a console?
Yeah.
Okay.
So once my PS4 shits the bed, then I'm just gonna get a better computer.
Now, you did mention the fact that with the exception of Nintendo, do you have a Switch?
I do.
And
yeah.
when Nintendo puts out the next Switch, will you follow suit and probably pick up a Switch too?
Probably not. I mean, I'll get my fix on it. I don't know. I have yet to complete the second Zelda game, not the Breath of the Wild, the
But
Tears of the
whatever-
Kingdom.
yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom. I have yet to finish that one. It's a little bit more of a slog. There's way more that you can do, but it's a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
So it ends up being a bit of a slog
Okay.
to get through the game. But yeah, it's Breath of the Wild was way better. I think that's the popular opinion. It's not that I'm trying to
Start a fight.
do the popular opinion here, but I would agree that Breath of the Wild, between Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild is the better game.
Okay. Now, I'm going to bring up a game that I recently started playing. I know you're a huge fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
Have you seen or played Splintered Fate yet?
I don't think so.
So it's basically it's Hades. Have you ever played Hades?
I've heard of Hades. I have not played it.
So top-down rogue light with better graphics. TMNT Splintered Fate is basically Hades, but you can switch between any turtle you want with
Okay.
level up capabilities, and they each bring their own kind of unique flavor to the game. So it might make sense to do a series of events as Donatello and then switch it out and go as Raphael another time.
Okay. This sounds a little bit more intriguing than your brawler
It is
game
not a brawler.
than I'm used to for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle license.
Yes. So it's a step up, in my opinion, from Brawler. It still has Brawler kind of feel and mechanics to it. So it's
Right.
not Shredder's Revenge TMNT, which is their updated Brawler that allows you to do 4 people at once.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's with my age group, and I grew up with Michelangelo at, somebody dressed up as Michelangelo at one of my birthday parties when I was in middle school at Godfather's Pizza.
Yeah.
So, yeah, with that aspect of the license, like I think we all remember the NES version, and that was very much a roguelike before. It was brutal, man.
So brutal.
I remember just getting to the water level and then I'd die
Yeah.
because it was timed and there was.
You're
all
talking about the one where you have to like jump and then you're skating around in the water and you have to go
Yeah.
up and down in order to
Yeah,
avoid,
you got to
yeah.
defuse
Oh, it
all
was
these
so tough.
bombs
Yeah.
within like 2 minutes, and there's jellyfish everywhere or green seaweed stuff that would sting you.
You were describing
know
that,
why.
and literally I smelled. I'm getting a phone call right now.
He smelled a phone call.
No.
don't-
I smelled the late 80s. Like I couldn't even tell you other than like I smelled my house and the old Nintendo
Okay.
entertainment system in my bedroom as you were describing that just then. But I will be right back.
Okay.
Keep chatting because that's my kid calling me at 11:49 at night.
Mobile consoles. Let's talk about mobile consoles. What are mobile consoles? I don't even know. Oh, okay. Yeah. Switch 2 is mobile. I also did like spend $15 on Amazon. If you like easily being able to carry your Switch around, there's like a $15 replacement deck, I guess, or docking station. That's what I mean, a docking station for your Switch. That like just you take the card out of the system, so it's not this big bulky thing that's gonna scratch your screen, and you can totally pop it in like one of the cases that you can get for your Switch when you're trying to play it on the plane or at an airport or just when you're traveling. But you can take the actual docking station with you, and if you have like a small HDMI cable or you're heading over to a friend or a relative's house, and you can just take the existing HDMI cable that they have there and plug it into your console, and now you can play on the TV. So I don't know. I like little projects like that where I get to take apart a crappy thing that Nintendo made and put it into something that somebody else 3D printed and sold on Amazon for like $10. But that's me. Mobile gaming PCs are getting more interesting as well. Okay. But do they have that what's the word everybody's using these days? Pedigree. Do they have the pedigree of Nintendo? Are they going to be successful as well? Probably not. Yeah. I think the biggest one that people talk about though with mobile gaming consoles is what? Maybe what is it? Isn't it one for Steam? A Steam Deck, right? Yeah. Okay.
Might and Magic. I never got into Might and Magic, and I never could get into Civ. In general.
Yeah,
Did you ever-
I couldn't either. I mean, the closest I got into Civ was what was it?
StarCraft.
No, Command and Conquer.
Oh, okay.
I liked Command and Conquer.
I also enjoyed Command and Conquer. I would say Red Alert, I think,
Yep.
was the
Yep,
was
that's
the
the
version that I
one.
played.
That's the one. Everybody was playing Red Alert, but even StarCraft, I couldn't get into it.
Oh, I love StarCraft, but that's real time as opposed to Civ, which is turn based.
Yeah.
My problem with Civ, so StarCraft, what was great is it was real time, and we used to bring everybody over and play on a closed network,
Okay.
and we would just not sleep all night.
Yeah.
So great to have those LAN parties back in my 20s. Just Mountain Dew up. You make food at one point. It was awesome. Civ, on the other hand, in a group with like 4 or 5 people, you're waiting on somebody to take their turn. Just like,
Forever.
oh my God.
Yeah. Just
Take
go.
the goddamn turn. It's 3 a.m. Just go.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting a bad taste in my mouth for
so
Civ.
so Civ is like Risk.
Yes.
Hey, look at that. We talked about board games too, guys.
Whoa!
Yes! We did it.
We did board games. Oh, I did want to bring up 2 other games that I have been really enjoying that we haven't talked about yet, which is Balatro,
Okay.
which is it's like a poker game and a role-playing game, and it is a roguelite all combined into one. You're not playing poker with other people. You're just playing the computer. And normally I would say that's stupid. Like, I love poker. But Balatro blew my mind. Like, I played a couple of games and suddenly I was hooked. I was in. I've probably got 20 or 30 hours into Balatro at this point. Like, it is so fun. The music is cool. It's really simple, and it has that, like, Metroid-style graphics to it. Like, it's just super fun. It's on Steam, and it's on Switch, and I've unfortunately purchased it on both because I wanted to play it on my computer so I could stream it, but then eventually I'm like, but I want to play it on my Switch late at night.
Yeah.
So I ended up buying it on both. It's also relatively inexpensive. And the other one that I've really gotten into recently, and it's not on here, another 2 actually, would be Vampire Survivors. Somebody introduced me to it and said, Vampire Survivors, you should really give it a go. I did. That's another one where if I just get bored and I put on Vampire Survivors, and it is all about surviving 30 minutes. In a game where you were just, it's just wave after wave of different types of monsters and bad guys, and you level up. And every time you level up, you get to choose some sort of a new weapon or new thing that you can augment or add to your arsenal that's just constantly shooting around you. And your goal is to survive for 30 minutes.
Huh.
That's awesome. And then finally, Celeste is the other one I've been playing on Nintendo Switch. I want that soundtrack. I enjoy the game. I like that style of it's once again a low res graphics style game, and it's every
parts. Right? There's the more retro like mini levels that you can go that get more low res, but everything else is somewhat like, I don't know, it almost seems flash animated, right?
No, sorry. Celeste is
Celeste, yeah.
Celeste where you're climbing up a mountain?
Yeah.
Oh. In the version I have on the Switch, it is 100% low-res graphics.
Like pixelated.
Yeah, pixelated low-res, yeah.
Okay. Well, there's like older school ones where it gets maybe like from 32-bit, like dumps it down to like 8-bit.
Oh. Maybe I just haven't made it that
like
far?
bonus levels.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
I don't think I've actually made it that far. I think I've made it over the hump of like one mountain, and then I made it into the second mountain.
You know what I'm thinking of? You're totally right. It is low res graphics, but when the dialogue stuff comes on the screen,
There you go.
that's when it looks like flash animated.
Sure.
But everybody's still bow, 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 bow.
Oh, yeah. The weird audio they do,
Yeah.
so that way they don't have to have different languages.
Right. So that's same way for Dave the Diver as well, which is also on my list.
It is. So
Yeah.
I have it on Steam. I bought it, one of those, like, it got so highly reviewed.
Yeah, it's great.
And you have to go dive and
It's
get your food,
great.
and then you have to cook it, right? Like, so it's kind of two separate
It's-
styles of games.
It's it is two different styles of games where you're deep sea exploration and Sushi Tycoon.
Sushi Tycoon. Okay, cool. I love sushi. God. Like, I'm not hungry, but I could eat the crap out of some sushi right now. Just you bringing that up. Okay, so we touched on board games. We did music.
Barely.
We talked about TV with X-Men 97, and then we stumbled into video games for a little bit, swinging things back around to Jaws. What do you into pinball, and I was looking at the Jaws thing over there.
Sure.
What are you most excited about with regards to pinball in the near future?
I don't know. Listen, I think I've heard a lot of I listened to too many pinball podcasts and just pinball content in general. But from what I've heard, I hear a lot of people saying that we're in this lull right now, and pinball is so slow, and like the staleness is kind of set in from all of the COVID explosion hype that we got over that period in time. And, the market isn't what it used to be and everything like that. I keep on hearing these types of things where we're on a downward trend.
Yep.
And what I see in my day-to-day is not that.
Okay.
It's not. It's straight up not that. I'm not seeing that really reflected in any way other than when I maybe occasionally look at the market. But even the market it's not swinging
Colorado's
in any
always weird.
crazy way.
Even the housing market in Colorado hasn't been nearly as negatively impacted as it is in other areas of the United States. So I feel like we're in a weird bubble in Colorado.
Sure, but still, I don't know. I think there's still obviously enough people talking about it to fill up a program a day for a week, and I don't think that's going anywhere. It's not going to change anytime soon.
No?
Especially with us coming out of the gates here after 3 months. No, but no, we're not going anywhere. Is maybe the message of this episode, right?
Yeah.
Is
I
that
think so.
we didn't need to leave for this store to grab that pack of cigarettes, but we did come back. We did come back.
So, about coming back, I want to end this on
Sure.
kind of on a high note. We're basement dads.
Yeah.
I want to talk and actually introduce a fifth one over here about a book really quick.
Oh, okay.
And as basement dads, we should be aware of some really good books for kids. And one of those that actually kind of echoes your sentiments just a moment ago about going for cigarettes and taking a long time coming back. It's
Yeah.
a fantastic book by Neil Gaiman called Fortunately the Milk. Are you familiar with this book?
I mean, I've read some printed material under the same title, but it does not sound like what you're describing.
Okay. Kids book called Fortunately the Milk. If you are a parent and you're interested in perhaps a fun, enjoyable short story to read to your kiddos about a dad who leaves to go get the milk and got sidetracked and comes up with a story, a wild tale of why it took him so long to come back and he forgot the milk.
Okay.
Done by an author and as prolific of an author as Neil Gaiman, you will absolutely love it. Go check it out. And likewise, we took a break. We were gone for a while,
Yeah.
and we didn't come back with the milk, but we are back. And we should have some more podcasts coming up more regularly in the future.
Do you remember how we end this? Because end this.
Oh,
'Cause,
yeah.
I don't think either one of us.
Prepped a dad joke
No.
to end things
Yeah.
off. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you got? I mean, you started it with a fun dad joke.
A fun one, sure. I don't know if that was a full-on dad joke. I mean, it was a joke about dads, but it wasn't a bad joke.
It was not.
Like, because I don't know if people understand that the term dad joke is a pun in and of itself. It's a bad joke told by a dad. It's a dad joke.
Ah. No, I don't think I actually ever thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to go down the darker route here with my
No. Oh.
the
The dad's not coming back.
yeah.
Yeah. Internet. Let's positive messages.
Positive
Yeah.
dad jokes. I'm just gonna look up lamest dad jokes. Lame dad jokes. I think how long this is taking is the actual dad joke.
That is. It's fine. We'll fix this in post.
I hope not. So I gave my handyman a to-do list, but he only did jobs 1, 3, and 5. Turns out he only does odd jobs.
This has been just a fantastic first live episode of Basement Dads. Paul, thank you.
Yeah, we'll get better. We'll get better more often.
All right, let's go find someone to raid. See you guys.
0.002% of people struggle to find companionship because of their choice in unpopular hobbies. These same people may find it difficult to be happy or enjoy themselves when alone. Because being good at something requires effort. Or they may rely on social lubricants in public situations to feel a level of normalcy. Or may give up entirely. But now, there is TPN, a non-FDA approved network of affiliated streamers who work together to bring a niche hobby better than mediocre content. Gone are the days of celebrating one's ephemeral and worthless accomplishments alone. Together, we can celebrate them together. Online, in a public forum, on the internet. Don't call your doctor if you think TPN is right for you. Call Zach's personal cell phone instead, late at night and on weekends. You should not take TPN if you don't like pinball or watching others play pinball.